Hi everybody, it's Terry at Painted Garden Farm, and I have so many seeds. I'm so excited, and I have more on the way. Can you believe it? I just wanted to go over and share with you a little bit about my seed collection, what I'm going to be planting this year, and I'll rummage through, and if you'll bear with me while I dig out what I have that I'm excited about. And one other thing too is I want to explain a seed log. I have this pretty pink sparkly notebook that I got on clearance when a drugstore was going out of business. And last year, before we moved in, I was planning on having a big garden because I figured we'd be moved before we, in time to plant the garden, should I say. And so I wrote down all the seeds. I had spent like $150 at Baker's Creek and probably another 20 or so at tomatobob.com. And I, excuse me, I had decided to log everything because I was planning on selling vegetables at the farmer's market, selling plant starts, and preserving food for home. And by the way, you can look at my hair today. I trimmed it myself a little so it's not so gross as it was. But, I'm not horrified by it. So anyway, I took my little pen and paper and I made a log. And all I basically did was write down by category. Like cucumbers, I had delicatesse, I had sikkim, I had Richmond green apple, I had dar. I didn't plant any of these, but I wrote down to be able to track everything, what the germination rate was supposed to be for it, and I planned on checking that off, plus or minus in it if depending on how it went. The best soil, the best temperature for the soil, and results, production, flavor, and best for, whether it was for market, for pickling, for salads, for selling fresh vegetables, or for selling plant starts, whatever. And that's what I did with everything. I have melons. I bought a couple kinds of melons, squash, and I went through this whole book. I mean, I filled up a good portion of this notebook. I had lettuces, everything in here. And some of them, like the flowers, the butterfly peas that I showed you the other day, I had results productivity, the tea flavor, the dye results, the ease of preservation, flavor, raw flour, ease of seed saving, different things that I wanted to keep and continue to produce. So all you need, folks, is a notebook, what's important to you about each variety of seed. Write it down because it's really important to keep a garden journal. So you're not going, like 5 years down the road, buying a variety that you bought before, forgot, and just, turned out you didn't like it, and you get it again and go, oh, why did I buy this? This was that one I hated, So you're going to try, you're going to save yourself. If there's one that, was lousy and, maybe you can make a note if you want to try it again on another year, because sometimes it's the weather. Let's face it, it's the weather. Some of our summers are not what they're supposed to be or, predicted, and springs are short or long, and, things come out different. So you might want to, try again. Who knows? But you can note it all down in your handy-dandy little garden journal. And so I wanted to make a point of presenting that to you today. Another point I want to make, or just a side note, is I was going to try to go outside today and make a little video of the new property, because I'm sure, as much as it thrills you to watch me sitting here at my computer making videos, something, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to look at than just me. Excuse me, I got a tickle today. And cheers, got my hot coffee. because it is snowing like a son of a gun outside, and it started up right when I was about to get ready to go out, and it was coming down like gangbusters, and I tried to video it, but you couldn't see anything but falling flakes, and I wasn't going to go across the yard because it was that, the hard frozen snow underneath new fluffy snow, and I did not want to be slipping and sliding and fall and break a hip or something. Or break my kagutsa, and you'll get that joke eventually. So, let me get started here. As soon as I can, though, as soon as we have a clear day, I will do a quick tour of the property, and I will do one again in the spring. And I will be showing you things like the raised beds that I build, the raised beds I'm planning to build, to the raised beds that I bought to assemble and put up. I'll show you the garage. It's my workshop for painting furniture and all that good stuff. So for now, though, let's go over a few seeds. So here's one of those cucumbers I was talking about. So I get a lot of seeds from Baker's Creek. I love that they're all heirlooms, and that they strive to preserve seeds, and that they travel the world and strive to bring in different varieties of seeds that are unusual, because one of the things that I want to really share with people in gardening is the unusual varieties of things. You don't want to have the same old green beans and everything else that, you can buy at the grocery store. Well, maybe you do. I shouldn't assume anything. And, maybe that's what you're into, is just the plain basic stuff. But that can get boring, and if you want to preserve food, and if you ever get stuck having to take care of yourself and your family, and you're going to get bored pretty quick. So I think it's important to have variety. And if you want to make any money selling some produce at a farmer's market, even if it's just enough to sell your extra stuff that you're not going to save or use, and you want to just get back enough to buy seeds for next year, if you're not into saving them, which is another thing we'll cover eventually, then you want to have something different to offer people, because that's going to make you stand out. If everybody else has a big pile of green beans, and that are this long, and you have, a big pile of green beans that's purple, or you have a big pile of green beans that are this long, then guess where people are going to go? Especially like once COVID's passed, if you can stand there and hand out little samples, like, here's a little ketchup cup with some cut up pieces of green beans for the kids to try. And find out that, they really like the purple ones just because they're purple, and, they probably taste exactly the same as the green ones that you steam and put on their plate, but, and they don't have to know that they're going to turn green once you cook them. But they'll think it's magic beans when they see them turn color, and then they'll eat them too. So let's see, what do we have here? I have a few things, like these are the Delicatesse cucumbers, and these are probably backwards in your picture, but these are from Baker's Creek, and I'm excited to try these. These are ones I bought last year. They look like they're, perfect for making pickle spears, and maybe half sour pickles and stuff like that. And we love pickles here. I like to make refrigerator pickles, and I like to can pickles, water bath can them, so I'm excited about those. Last year I tried to grow cabbage. I got good starts, but I was not able to get them in the ground in time. So I still have plenty of seed left, and I plan to try again this year. And I'm going to direct sow them, I believe, because starting them indoors with cabbages. These, I'm so excited about these. This is what's considered, what's called, most people would say it's cucuzzi. It's not cucuzzi, and I know this because I'm Italian, and my grandmother was Sicilian, and my grandfather was, his family was from Avellino in Italy, and they knew Italian, and this is caguzzi, not cucuzzi, caguzzi, That's the way to say it. You can also say it Kagutsa and spell it with an A at the end, N-A at the end. But it's Kagutsa, and it's an Italian squash. It's kind of like a little bit like a zucchini. You can cook it in soups. You can stuff it. You can use it basically all the ways you can use a zucchini. I've never eaten it before, but I saw somebody else that was growing it on their channel, and in their garden, not on their channel. They showed it on their channel in their garden, and they were calling it Kakuzi. And it was, something about it was ringing a bell. And I remembered when I was a kid, because, they described it as an Italian type of gourd or squash. It's Cagut Serpente di Sicilia. So it's the Sicilian one. They described it as an Italian squash. And all of a sudden I realized what they were talking about was Kagutsa. When we were kids, we were told at Nana's house, don't climb on that, don't run, you're going to fall and break your Kagutsa, your squash. So I was like, oh my goodness, if it's a specific type of squash, then yes, I have to get that. Nana would be so proud. Nana almost lived to 101. She just passed away a couple years ago, and I was blessed to have her well into my into my 50s, not very well into my 50s. So she'd have been thrilled to. I wish I could have shared it with her. I don't know if she ever grew it. She hadn't had a garden in her yard since I was a little kid. So, another thing I love about seed companies, when you buy stuff, they send you freebies. This is lemon bee balm, and I love bee balm, and I've always had a hard time growing it, and I'm hoping here in the new yard maybe it'll stick around. It'll take and come back. They sent me free lettuce. This looks to be it says Paris Island Cause. I'm guessing it's, I think I mentioned this before and showed it before. This is a romaine type of lettuce, it looks like. And so I'm going to try growing that. I've never grown one of those lettuces. This is a tomato that I planted last year. The plant grew very well, but like I said, my plants, they took too long. I took too long getting them in the ground, and I didn't get any of these pork chop tomatoes, and they look delicious, and I can't wait to give it another shot. Last year I was going to grow celery for the first time. I have Chinese pink celery. I have white Chinese celery as well from Baker's Creek, and I cannot wait to grow this. I've never grown it before. If anybody has tips on growing celery, please let me know. I'm not sure. Somebody told me it was kind of a pain in the neck to grow it because you have to support it and divide it. And I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know and how it goes. You can follow my progress. Carrots. I have at least a half a dozen varieties of carrots. I have the red coyote. These are new Kuroda. They're look like a very chunky, thick orange carrot, a little dark orange on the outside than the rest. Candy roaster squash. I am a huge fan of squash. My husband is not. This is candy roaster squash. It looks like it's going to be very sweet and delicious. I'm hoping it's kind of like a butternut type variety. I won't be able to say for sure. It almost looks a little bit like a summer squash, but where it's called a roaster, I'm going to guess it's got kind of the texture of like an acorn or a butternut squash inside. Burpee chives. I had chives at my old house. They came back here. I planted them once. I had them for years, hoping for similar results. Carrots, Danvers 126 half longs. These were developed. I grew up in the town where these were developed, or in or around the town, Danvers. That's where Nana lived. Ginger's Pride melon. Growing fruit to me, I don't know, there's something special about it. It seems like anybody can grow vegetables, but growing fruit is special. Is it? I don't know. If I could get some melons to grow, I'll really be excited. I grew cantaloupes once. They were the size of like tennis balls, and I got about 4 of them, and somebody came and swiped a couple, probably the groundhog. Ooh, did it just get dark in here? That's because I'm filming on my computer. And the screensaver almost turned on. Cilantro. This was a free gift or I would not be growing it. I'm not a fan of cilantro. I'm going to have to make something with cilantro in it or sell bunches of it dried or something because maybe I'll just sell the plant starts because I'm just not a fan of cilantro. It tastes weird. Pepino melon. I have these seeds. I'm assuming they're in here. I can't feel them. I know I never planted any last year, so I'm going to have to guess that they're in here. They're very tiny. These grow the same way as an eggplant. They're related to eggplants. And they have very, very tiny seeds. And I bought a pepino melon recently at the grocery store because it was there. I said, holy cow, I have seeds for these. I've never seen them in the store before. Let me buy one and try it. For one melon that was the size of a goose egg that fit in my hand, it was like a small eggplant size. It was $2 for one melon. And it does not taste like melon. It tastes like a cucumber and a cantaloupe had a baby. I hear some seeds in here. I know they're tiny seeds, and I'm hoping there's enough to at least get a few plants. Because it was pretty good. It tasted, like I said, like a vaguest hint of cantaloupe in a cucumber. So it was not bad. It wasn't super delicious, sweet, like I wouldn't want to take a bite of it like an apple. Apparently you can. The skin gets tough as you as they ripen. So I would peel it and dice it up in a regular salad or a fruit salad. It would work in either one. But yeah, I'm interested in growing these and seeing how it works out and maybe selling some plant starts or selling the fruit if we get a farmer's market this year. And I can't see anything. I hope they didn't disintegrate since last year. They're so tiny and the envelope is so flat. What else have I got in the goodie bag? I have mammoth dill. I have Chinese forget-me-nots. I have zinnias. Last year, I bought seeds for Tulsi, holy basil. I got sprouts, and then they died. Once I put them in the ground, didn't matter. Nothing really happened with them. I'm going to try again this year. I have from Burpee, just from going to Home Depot, some spaghetti squash, because I hadn't thought of buying that. I have more zinnias. Zinnias are one of my favorite flowers. This is dill. That was a free gift from Baker's Creek. I have nasturtiums from Burpee. Here's the long Chinese noodle beans. You think your kids might want to try them? I think so. I know I do, and I'm not a fan of green beans, unless they're raw. This is a cucumber called Sikkim, and I don't know if you can see, the outside of that skin is kind of funky. So that's why I decided I had to try it, because it's different. I grew these last summer. The plants grew well. My growing season, because of being late, was too short. So therefore, I did not get any orange peppers. I got a couple of purple peppers that I planted, and I did bring in some pepper plants. They're overwintering in my mudroom, 2 or 3 of them. And we'll see if because a lot of times peppers on the second season, the pepper plants, you prune them and water them, and they go crazy. I've done it with my hot peppers forever. Eggplant, good old-fashioned eggplant. More of the candy roaster squash. Lilac bell, that's one of the plants I have out in the mudroom. These are the dark cucumbers. They look like a delicious pickle. Burpee sunflower seeds. Golden beets. I don't like beets. Don't like them. They taste like dirt. Somebody told me the yellow ones don't taste like dirt. I like beet greens. They don't go out into the ground, so they don't taste like dirt. They taste like leaves. I will give beets one last shot as golden beets. If I don't like them, I'm going to give them away. Do something, but I'm going to eat the greens. And then I have some sunflowers, pretty cut flower sunflowers from Berkey. This is just not even the beginning of my pile of seeds. I have tomato seeds from tomatobob.com. I love growing everything and anything new and exciting. So I am going to plant what I can fit into beds that I have. I am going to start seeds for just about every kind of seed I have. I will sell plant starts. I will sell cut flowers. I will do everything I can to scratch a little extra scratch out of my gardens this year and save money by having preserved food and eat free all summer. And I'm going to try to go a little more vegetarian, not 100%. I like meat too much. I don't grow meat. I can't raise meat here, but I can have a half a dozen hens and have my eggs. So if I can get a chicken coop built, that will be that. And hopefully, my health will improve. My rheumatoid arthritis will ease up on me, and it's just a matter of doing things right and being more healthy. And so the more garden beds I can build and the more of them I can fill with stuff, the more food I can grow and have healthy, good things to eat in front of me available all the time, then the less I gotta go to the supermarket and be tempted going down the cookie aisle. And let's not even discuss those two, Ben and Jerry. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of the seeds I'm excited about. And so the Kagutsa, I also have on the way another one, Mexican sour gherkins. I've been excited since last year about getting seeds for these and growing them. I saw them on TV. Somebody was growing them. I had seen them on Baker's Creek website. And when somebody talked about them on TV, one of our weathermen is a big gardener around here. And he was growing them in his garden. He picked them and was eating them. He was saying how good they were. And I says, well, next year I'm definitely going to have to get them and try them. I thought about it, but I hadn't done it. And now here we are. It was one of the last seed hauls I had to make. And I'm waiting for them to come in the mail. So, and I've sworn off for the rest of the year buying seeds. I'm going to try to save as many seeds from all these things I grow so that next year I can only buy stuff that maybe I wasn't real successful at saving seeds, or new stuff that I haven't tried before, and expand my garden. So I don't know why I'm saying my R's. I'm afraid that maybe people won't understand me, but that's not how I talk. I don't say R's. I am a New Englander. And so anyway, I'm going to get going. I got to go scrape another layer of snow off the driveway before my husband comes home so that he can get in to the garage and then start up the snowblower and finish it. But I wanted to touch base. I want to get a decent library of videos going, and I do want to get to the point where we can go outside and play. And if we can get through this winter, and tomorrow I'll be showing you my little mini haul from the thrift store, because I'm going to be doing some crafting. So since we can't go out and play, we will do some crafts and keep our little selves busy and out of trouble on the indoors. Thanks a lot for joining me. I appreciate you watching. Again, when you're seed shopping, if you haven't done it already, think weird, unusual, colorful. One of the reasons I am Painted Garden Farm is because I paint. I like to paint. I'm sorry. I can't talk today. Why? Why am I Painted Garden Farm? Because I love to paint stuff. I love to repaint furniture. I love to repaint decor. And I love to have a rainbow of colors in my garden and an array of different colored vegetables, so that it looks like somebody painted, like an Alice in Wonderland, painting the roses red. Only I don't really paint my vegetables. They grow that way. But I will see you soon, and we will do some crafts and maybe paint something together. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Who are you rooting for? I'm supposed to be rooting for Tom Brady because he's the GOAT, and he became the GOAT playing for us here up the street in Foxborough. I don't know, he's kind of a traitor. I don't know, Tom. Take care.